Hi, and welcome to section 4.2 for Econ 1 on the AQA exam board. Today we're going to be looking at market structure, perfect competition, and monopoly. When we discuss market structures, we're concerned with the competition levels in the market. We need to look at a variety of different factors, such as the following. The first one is the number of firms and the market share of each of these firms. We're looking at firms that are based domestically and internationally. Another factor to look at is how vertically integrated the industry is. This means, do companies in the industry own the process before or after them in the production process? An example would be a carpenter business owning a forest where they source the wood and a shop who sells the furniture that they make. Another example would be an energy company that owns the power plants that produce the energy and then sells the energy to consumers. High levels of vertical integration within an industry can cause an industry to become less competitive. The differentiation between products also influences how competitive the market is. Another factor influencing competition levels is the turnover of customers, which is how many customers will switch supplier if the market conditions change. A market condition change could be where one firm increases their prices, and we want to see how many consumers switch from consuming at that firm to consuming at other firms that now have a cheaper price. The nature of costs in an industry also needs to be looked at. In some industries, it can be possible for economies of scale to exist, which means that the larger the firm is, the lower the unit cost will be. These lower unit costs could then result in lower prices for consumers. There are many different market structures that we can have, but at AS you only need to know about perfect competition and monopoly/monopoly power. The first market structure that we're going to look at is perfect competition. Perfect competition is a theoretical market structure where competition is at its greatest possible level. It does not exist in real life, but commodity markets are fairly close. Perfect competition has the following criteria. The first one is perfect information. This is for both producers and consumers. Perfect information for both producers and consumers allows them to make rational decisions whereby consumers maximize utility and producers maximize profit. There will also be perfect information in the market about profits, costs, and production processes or technologies. As information is available about profits, costs, and production processes, new firms can use this information to enter markets that have abnormally high profit levels. Another criteria of perfect competition is that there must be no barriers to entry or exit for firms. Firms can move in and out of industries as they please. The third criteria for perfect competition is homogeneous goods. All goods in this market must be the same, meaning that consumers do not care where they buy that good from. The next criteria is that all firms and consumers are price takers in the market. No firm and no consumer can single-handedly influence the price and quantities in the market. They will be determined by supply and demand. The final criteria is that there are many firms in the market, each with a small market share. So here's a summary of the criteria for perfect competition. The first one is there must be perfect information for all economic agents in the market. The next one is that there must be no barriers to entry or exit for firms. The third is there are homogeneous goods, meaning that all goods are the same. The fourth one is that all firms and consumers are price takers and they cannot influence the price or quantities in the market. And the final one is that there are many firms, each with a small market share. Firms in perfect competition can make supernormal profits in the short run. Supernormal profit is the extra profit above that level of normal profit. Normal profit is worked out by doing the risk-adjusted rate of return times the amount of capital that the firm is using to produce these goods and services. So if a firm is having supernormal profit, they are getting a better rate of return for that capital invested in that industry. But this sends out a signal to other firms that there is excessive profit in that industry, providing an incentive for new firms to enter into that market. This happens because there is perfect information in our market. These new firms are then able to enter the market because there are no barriers to entry. And the entry of new firms into that market results in profits for firms in perfect competition becoming normal in the long run. So in perfect competition, you can have supernormal profits for firms in the short run, but in the long run, all profits for firms in all industries operating in perfect competition will be normal. Let's now look at a few other non-perfect competition markets. Here are some examples. We can have a pure monopoly, whereby we have a single seller of a good or service. A working monopoly, whereby a firm has over 25% of total sales in that market. An oligopoly, which is an industry that is dominated by a few large firms. And a duopoly, which is a market that is made up of two firms or a market that is dominated by two very large firms.